Earlier, I spoke to Paul Violas, the CEO of Violas Group, a security consulting firm. He is also a vice president at Kroll, where he served on their post-9/11 assessment team. He's also a former supervisor of New York County's District Attorney's Criminal Court Unit.
The director of the FBI does not have to ask his boss, the Attorney General, whether to do what he did or not. And I know it's alleged that he ran it by her and that the AG said not to do it. I don't know what great a source that was that said that. But, you know, the take on this thing, Vlad, I think is pretty simple. Even though it's being made it's politicized and it's polarizing. The take on this is pretty simple. The FBI is conducting a criminal investigation, and while they're conducting a criminal investigation, information comes up to probably an analyst that said, wait a second, I think I better bring this to the attention of an agent. An agent looks at it, and the content, Vlad, and that's the key part here, the content involved in whatever the FBI has seen is the part that made Director Comey jump in, not to the deep end of the pool, but the deep end of the ocean. He's a smart guy. He's a brilliant prosecutor. Like him, don't like him. At the end of the day, he's a very smart guy. He's calculated. He's a deductive reasoner. He knew what was going to happen when he did this. My take on this, after all my years in this, is the fact that he testified in front of Congress. He told Congress the investigation is closed, but if other information comes up, I'll advise the committee. I'm sure he grappled with it, but at the end of the day, I got to say he did what he needed to do to make sure that, as part of testimony, he kept in line with that and then went back to Congress, tough decision to say, okay, look, we found information that we need to pursue to legitimize. That's what he said, right? A lot of people are hanging on that dangling participle out there that says, but you know what, we don't know if it's significant.
Right.
Vlad, I will tell you, the real take on this is there is no question that the contents of the emails that he's read is compelling. There's no question about that. The significant take on this is whether or not they can prove that it actually came from Mrs. Clinton's server. I mean, you and I know, and our viewers know, that how many of us have received emails from people that we think we know who they are, right, and names that aren't them. So it's called point-to-point validation, and that's what the FBI is going to have to do to see whether or not this is real evidence.
And you just heard Josh Earnest speaking there, saying that the director was in a tough position, and that, again, the president has confidence in his abilities, as do members of the legislature on both sides of the aisle. Right. The question that I think somebody has also posited is that sort of danged if you do, danged if you don't, because he did go back in July and make public the part of the investigation. And some people were saying perhaps that wasn't the right thing back then, but because he did that, he has to sort of do this. Is that how you read it as well?
I don't, and I really don't think, and I know he's been under a lot of pressure, Vlad. I mean, we all know that.
Right.
But he didn't cave under pressure, and he didn't go rogue. He looked at this, he analyzed it, and said, what are my options? And my options are A, he knows he was at the time 11 days in front of the election. Do I not say anything? Now, God forbid, if he does that, right, from a prosecutorial standpoint, if he does that and we fast forward to February and he's faced with prima facie evidence that shows criminal charges must be filed, the first question people are going to have, Vlad, is what? When did you know this? Why didn't you say it? So he had to weigh that and say, okay, do I say it now? Do I say it later? Tough call on his. I wouldn't have wanted to have to make that call.